The feeling of understanding the words in the Quran without reading the English translation is an absolutely incredible feeling. Imagine finally being able to read Allah's words and not have to look at an English translation every few seconds. But when I actually started trying to learn Arabic, that wasn't even my goal. I just thought it was fun to be able to speak in Arabic to Arabs, and I wanted to actually impress my old Arabic teacher. But a few months in, when I realized that now I could actually understand the Quran, everything changed. I wanted more of that feeling. I wanted the feeling of understanding the Quran more than any other goal. And so for a good while, that is all I focused on. And while I usually help people learn Arabic in general, in this video, I'm going to focus solely on learning Arabic to understand the Quran, which is a little bit different. And in fact, it could even be a bit easier. Now, the first point. When I used to actually learn to read the Quran, when I was in school and as a kid, I remember we placed a heavy focus on tajweed and a melodious kind of recitation where you make yourself sound nice while you recite it, mainly just perfecting tajweed. And that was so important because alhamdulillah, like now I can actually read the Quran properly. But one time I remember in year 6, we had a teacher and he was a non-Muslim teacher in an Islamic school. And while we were all reciting the Quran, the teacher actually asked my Quran teacher, do these guys actually understand what they're reading? Because we were reading really well, but it didn't quite seem like we were understanding what we were reading. And the teacher told him, no, they don't. And the look of shock on his face is something I still remember to this day, because it resonated with me. You see, the way we were reading it wasn't wrong, but our mindset was incorrect. The way you need to read the Quran from now on, before you even take any action on learning the words, learning Arabic specifically, is to change the way you think. When you read, you need to read as if you already understand. And this is going to be difficult, and you're going to struggle at basically every single word trying to understand it. And that's good. That's the way you need to be. You need to turn your brain into a mode where it's now absorbing meaning rather than trying to perfect the way you sound, which is how most people are when they read the Quran. And if you think about it, it's kind of dystopian in a way, but I wouldn't call it so much as dystopian, but it is odd that people don't focus on what the meaning of what they're reading is. And obviously we're going to be learning the actual language of the Quran as well, but it's so important that when you're reading it, you're reading it in a way that you feel like you already understand it, or you're struggling, you're feeling the struggle of trying to understand it. That struggle is good. That mental effort is what you need right now. And the next point, and this is the most important thing, I say this in every single video, this is the bulk of your learning, that is to focus on vocabulary. You see, I noticed a semi-miracle in my life. I guess you could call it a semi-miracle. It wasn't really a miracle. But when I started learning Arabic, I would learn through words. I would try to pick up more words, because I kind of had a basic idea of the grammar. All I really needed was to just grow this tree of knowledge, which was words. It was vocabulary at the end of the day. So I did that. But oftentimes I would come across a word and it just didn't seem like it was an important word. Like the first instance of this, maybe I think it would have been uhawil. Uhawil means I tried. And again, like I was so early into my Arabic learning language that this didn't seem that important, although like if you think about it, it's really important. But that word would just show up every single day after that. Like it would show up so much and so quickly after I learned it. And that's when I realized no word is unimportant when it comes to learning Arabic in general. So I just kept noticing that pattern, and to this day, in fact very recently, like within a few months ago I think, I learned this one specific word. For example, it's on that wall right there actually, which just means like related or linked. And this word literally showed up the next day. I was trying to analyze this news article through a video and it was there, it was in there. So the point is, no word is unimportant. But when we're speaking specifically about the Quran, what I want you to understand is there is a lot of repetition in the Quran. And you might have seen these kind of books online, learn 80% of the Quran by just knowing these words. And believe it or not, those work. They really do work. All you need to do is just pick up words on a consistent enough basis over time, and there you go. Now you know all the words in the Quran. It sounds easy, and to be honest, to an extent it is easy. But the thing is, you just need to stick to it. And that's where point number 3 comes in, is accountability. You need someone to be holding you accountable. Sometimes it's just hard as a person, no matter how disciplined you are, no matter how much of a good record you might have with other habits, you just need somebody to hold you accountable. And oftentimes this can be through a friend, or it can be through a community of people that are doing the same exact thing as you. And that's what I have at the bottom. It's a free community you can join. It's a bunch of people learning Arabic with you. Or the best thing is to find a mentor, somebody who can work with you and teach you and show you what you need to do. Somebody who's already done what you want to do. A really useful thing that you could do is, with somebody who has more knowledge than you, obviously in Quran, is to recite a surah with them. A surah that you already know ideally, because you'll be familiar with how it sounds. But break down every single word with them. And I do this with my own students as well. I just go through a surah and just break it down step by step, then go back and read the sentence that we just did. And that sounds simple, but it is so useful because, like I said, there is repetition in the Quran. You learn one surah, you learn the meaning of one surah. You haven't just learned the meaning of one surah. Now you understand maybe 10-20% of the rest of the Quran because you understand the words in that surah. And so that links back to vocabulary, and it also links back to having a mentor who just takes you through that. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful, inshallah. And again, go down to the community and surround yourself by people who have the same goal as you. Inshallah, I'll see you in the next one.